Hi. Understanding the lithium-ion cells behavior is a very crucial thing. And also such behavior are more intricate in nature because there is a lot of electrochemical reactions that are happening inside the cell. If we want to understand how the cell behaves inside, then we have to really cut the cell and open it and then see through under a microscope or a specific kind of scanners. But that is not really possible in all the given circumstances. Henceforth, we go for a specific type of characterization that is called as EIS, or that is called as Electroimpedance Spectroscopy or Electrochemical Impedance Spectroscopy. So with the help of EIS, we will be able to study the behavior of a cell by subjecting the cell to a very specific frequencies. So when we subject a cell to a specific frequency, it does give you a response. With the help of that response, we try to understand the specific inherent nature of a cell. So to make that happen, we have specific test equipments which looks like this right now what we have. It is an chemical impedance analyzer. These machines comes at a various different frequency ranges. For a lithium-ion cell, you would require a frequency from 1 millihertz, that means 0.001 hertz, to somewhere about 200 kilohertz. So we can also get a machines which can do something like 0.1 hertz to 10 kilohertz. We can also get a machines typically called as an LCR meters. But criticality of these machines, which are very specific to testing a lithium-ion cells, are in two critical parameters. One is the frequency range. That means what is the lowest frequency to the highest frequency we can sweep. Because to understand the behavior, we need to sweep the frequency. So typically it is 1 millihertz to somewhere about 200 kilohertz is the required frequency range. The second important thing is what is the lowest internal resistance that we can measure from the equipment in place. Because lithium-ion cells, and specifically some of the prismatic cells, which exhibits in milliohms, does your equipment has an ability to really measure that milliohm of internal resistance parameter is an important thing. This is the two typical things that we pick up a machine for a specific characteristics. So now here we have a machine. With the help of this machine, that is chemical impedance analyzer, we connect that machine to a cell. We subject the cell to this test at different state of charge conditions. We test a cell maybe at 100% SOC, then we discharge the cell in the other DC cycler equipments, then we again bring back the cell, then we subject that to a AC characterizations. So typically depending upon what you want to perform, maybe 100% SOC, then you again perform at 95% or 90% and things like that. According to that, you can subject the cell to a different SOC windows in place. Or else you can also keep the cell in a different temperature conditions, and they can also perform the ACIR tests. So when you perform a test at different frequency ranges, you get a plot that is called as a Bode plot. Or also it can be in a part of it, largely it is a Nyquist plot. So when we get that plot, we represent certain parts of the behaviors, and then we get to know which part of the electrochemical behavior is represented in which part of the Nyquist plot includes. And by that way, that gives us an inherent chemical characteristics, or let's say a formation of SCI layer, or resistance contributed because of the ionic transfer, or because of the electrolyte. All of that we will be able to study with the help of a electroimpedance spectroscopy as a part of it. So these kind of testing, we call it as a AC characterization equipment, AC characterization devices. And we also have a machines for a cell level. Then we also get a machines for a pack level as well. So in the pack level, we typically perform the test at a 50% SOC and somewhere about 1 kilohertz as a frequency range. That is the standard that we have been following in the industry. So here these machines comes with different voltage ranges, because the cell voltage is usually below 5 volt. But the pack voltage can be somewhere even 50 volt, 100 volt, 200 volt or 500 volt, even 1000 volts as well. The machine that we have here is taking from 0 volts to 100 volts, but a one frequency, that is at only 1 kilohertz. But here this can go to a complete frequency band, but this will be between only up to 5 volts in place. Like this, with the help of this, Once the battery pack is manufactured, then we have a contribution of different cells as an internal resistance. Then we have our spot welding or a manufacturing process of the bus bars to interlinking with the cells, and then the bus bar itself, and then all the other components that as a battery pack will contribute to overall internal resistance. So such kind of a test cases, we use these machines where we study the pack level internal resistance. So imagine if you have a battery pack manufacturing plant. By end of the plant, you want to test ACIR. Then you will get to know the ACIR impedance by every pack. If there is any variation in the manufacturing, if there is any variation in the number of cells which are having different issues in place, so you will be easily able to identify the contribution of certain components to a failure of the battery pack in place, or you can reject the battery pack from the production line in the QC process in place. That's how the part of it. Then once you get a data of these tests from the ACIR, we can also build mathematical models. Such models will be able to have a more intricate information in terms of the behavior of a lithium-ion cell, and then also we can build a pack level digital twins as well. So with the help of these two equipments such as DC characterization, AC characterization, we intended to understand the behavior of any electrochemical cell in place. Thank you.